At Entrepremommies, we share from experience. Moms talk about things that affect moms in general. The mommy entrepreneurs, we are the moms that handle business, and that means a lot. Remember, Entrepremommies.
Hello, and welcome to Entrepremommies. I am Tiffy, the Resellqueen.
And I'm Nicole Flamer.
And welcome, because we are the Entrepremommies, the mommies that handle business. Hello, YouTube world and Facebook world that we are going live on. If you don't get to watch us, you can always listen to us on all the different podcast forms. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach us at entrepremommies@gmail.com. And that is entreprenmommies @gmail.com. So, Nikki, how's your week been?
How did my week go? Oh, goodness gracious. So I'll start off. I bought a car.
What?
Yes. Girl, you know the formula. You get the house, then you get the car.
Yeah, you gotta do that because you can't mess up your CTI.
I had to get the car before the house hit the credit.
Right.
So I got a 2018 Atlas outside silver. It's an adult car. No more minivan. No more mommy minivan.
We got
No minivan. It has a third row, so everybody can fit. My brood can fit in the back, but it is an adult car. It is a very adult, sleek, nice vehicle, and I'm very proud of it. And I tell the kids that it's more important to me than they are. So don't mess up the interior and don't mess up the outside. I'm dusting them off as they get. Oh, you guys have too much mud. You cannot get in the car. So so that was good. But as with anything, it did. I drove it off the lot and it overheated.
What?
Yes, indeed. So as I'm not more than 5 minutes in, drove it off. Big red triangle comes up. It overheated. I freaked out because that's why I got rid of the minivan, because it was overheating and it had 220,000 miles on it. But so took it back and I said, "This is broke. I cannot take this home broke." So it spent like 3 days. They fixed it. Then I took it off the lot again. And it said low coolant. And I'm like, y'all just fixed the water pump. So why didn't you put no coolant in it? So I took it back, but now it's fine. So now everything works.
Okay.
And I feel good. All is good with the world. And I'm happy with the purchase. And since I really work from home and I don't really do anything drive-wise, it works for me. And I intend to keep it for at least the next 5, 6, 7 years. So
I know exactly how you feel, because during the pandemic, it was, I think, around July, we bought a new car.
Yeah.
And I had to wait for it to get delivered because, during the pandemic, there was a slowdown of new cars and, new everything, anything that has to do with these chips. That's a whole issue. We can talk about that another day. But so I had to wait for it to get delivered. It is a 2020 vehicle. So I got a Chevy Equinox, which I like it. The only thing that I was like, this is different. I think it's because of where I live. It didn't come with many options.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the things that I was like looking up online, like, it comes with this. I was like, oh, that's not part of the regular package. And then I kind of figured out it's because of where I live, because there was a dealership that's about 45 minutes away and they have them with all the options.
Oh, okay.
And that, I think it's because that's a more metropolitan place. So they decided, to order the ones that have all the options. And so I'm going to keep it. It's not actually what I wanted. I really wanted the Traverse, the Chevy Traverse.
Is nice. Yes.
I really wanted that, but they didn't have them available. And the guy at the dealership, he was like, I want to be honest. He was like, I don't know when they're coming. That's what he told me.
Yes.
I can tell you what I got coming now.
Yeah.
But I don't know when they're coming. And and I'm glad I didn't wait, because it was probably like a year later. And that's when I started seeing the Traverses on the road. And I was like, oh, they got the new ones out. And actually he contacted me and he was like, we got them. If you want them, you want to come in and do a trade? And I was like,
yeah.
And it's not because I don't want the car. It's because I have paid ahead on my loan so much.
Oh, yes.
That
you don't want to lose that.
I don't want to lose that. And he's like, well, we could probably give you a lot more than what we would normally give you for your trade-in, because they don't have a lot of cars right now.
Right. Oh gosh, it's bare.
It's an issue. That's why used car lots are making a killing, but not really, because they need that money to go buy more cars. And the cars now are so expensive.
Yes.
Because of the whole, well, I'll give you a little tiny bit of what I understand about this whole chip price crisis.
Okay.
So, as we all know, there are these little tiny computer chips that are in like just about everything that we use, in cars, in hospital equipment, and even like your cable equipment. Okay.
Yes.
Little tiny chip. Well, there's only like 1 or 3 companies that actually make these chips. And guess what? They're not in the United States.
Of course not.
Why would they? You know? So, but the whole issue is not just about the chip. It's about this little tiny conductor that goes onto the chip or next to the chip that connects it to the device that it needs, that it's being inserted into.
Okay.
There's not that many places that are making them. And there weren't before, but it wasn't an issue.
Right.
And then COVID happened.
Right.
And then there was a slowdown in production, not just because, of COVID, but there was a lot more precautions that have to be put into place in these type of factories. So it's not just the United States that's putting precautions out. It's every country that has a different precaution that needs to happen.
Correct.
And it was a slowdown. And it's not just a slowdown on that particular one product. It's a slowdown on everything.
Yes.
So, and then on top of that, you also have the lack of workers at the shipyards. So you have these tanker cargo ships that are just floating around because they can't dock, because they don't have enough workers to take the cargo off. Then truckers are literally sitting there for hours upon hours upon hours waiting for a load. And by the way, truckers don't get paid till they start driving.
Right.
So
they're just waiting, not making any money.
They're not getting paid. That's self-employment. For most people, the way that works is they're self-employed. So they don't get paid until they start getting that cargo on their truck so they can go from point A to point B. And who knows how far they got to drive.
Right.
So they got to waste their time waiting if it shows up. So that's part of the backlog of not just, with cars, but with everything. Because when I got my car, it was sitting in Baltimore for like a week and a half.
Really? Just because there was no one to deliver it?
No one to deliver it. As I even asked my guy, I was like, look, can I go and get it? Like, look.
I can find my way to Baltimore.
Look, I go to Baltimore. It's 2 hours away from me. I got no problem. Okay.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, it don't work that way. He was like, I'd go and get it. That's because I wasn't the only person at the dealership waiting for my car. Yeah. So when the car got there and I went there, to make the exchange and everything, you should see all of us lined up getting our new cars.
Oh, that was funny.
And he was like, yep. So now we have no more cars anymore. He's like, my cars one day. We have no more cars.
And they're gone the next day.
They were gone. Well, he called me same day.
Yeah.
He called me same day. And actually, I will say my sales guy was really good to be in contact with us to say, hey, I know exactly where it is now. This is where your vehicle is. He was like, I don't think it's coming today, but I expect it tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what he told me. And he called, and we end up having like a bad storm. And like the next day, and he was like, it's a bad storm. They're not going to drive the trucks in a storm with all the cars on them. And I was like, that's fine. I'm okay. You know, we're good. Now, meanwhile, we already did the paperwork.
Right.
So I'm already getting the paperwork from the loan company.
Yeah.
And
like, I don't have my car though.
Right. And well, and you know what else happened?
Oh, there's my alarm.
SiriusXM done turned off my service.
Oh, we have no car to put it in yet.
Because I never even called them or anything because, you know, you need the new car ID, radio ID number and all that good stuff. Well, it's because they were already processing my my trade-in on my old car.
Okay.
And I was like, good, I'm like, y'all done turned my radio off? Like, what the devil? Now, I normally listen to it through the app anyway, but I was just like, oh, okay, y'all really proficient today, making sure that you get your stuff. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that was my car saga. So I'm happy for you. I'm glad you got something new. Congratulations.
Me too. Thank you. You can't have it overheating on the side of the road, you know?
No,
not with the babies in there. Oh no,
not
they
with
don't do well.
Yeah.
Don't do well with that at all. So yeah.
I always want I'm happy now with my husband that when something goes wrong with my car, I just send him.
Yes.
I always have that feeling of I'm a woman walking in and I feel like they're just going to try and rob me.
I know. I don't trust them at all. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing, but I'm with you. I feel very very vulnerable in any type of car setting, car repairs, even buying the car. I totally bought it on the internet. So when I took it home was the first day I saw it because I didn't want to deal with all that used car salesman,
mumbo jumbo
and stuff. I didn't want to do it. I was like, just give me a price. I'll pay it. We'll figure it out. I'm cool with that. I'm not trying to get anything extra or on top. You know what I mean? It just makes my life easier. So yeah. But I'm with you. I'm totally vulnerable when it comes to cars.
Yeah. So like kind of switching gears onto like what my week was like a little bit.
Okay.
Is I had a little issue with time management this week.
Okay.
Time management for me, it's always funny. I'm good with time management when I'm just working for me. Because I am a list person. If you ever walk into my office environment, I have these little notepads. I love notepads with lines on them.
Me too.
I have a whole packet. So I don't want to make noise, but I have a whole packet like this of these, and you just
are those sticky ones? Yeah, I have these too. Yep.
I have those all over the place, and I have notes. I have different colors for different things. As I'm color coded for things. This color is actually for my child.
Okay.
So if he needs to interrupt me, he writes his name on this.
That's cute.
And he'll just put it there because at times we don't know if I'm on the phone and it needs to be quiet, or if it's just okay for him to just come in. You know, we don't always know that, and he's not gonna understand that. He's 6. So that's one of the methods that I use is my Post-it note method. When you need something, just pull it up, put your name on it, and I know to come out when I am done. Okay. You know, if it's on fire, then say something. But other than that, so I added a new client. So I am, as you know, I do contract work for like call centers. Yes. So I added on a new client, so I have to go through the training process for it. Now, the thing that is nice is it's all at my own pace. So it's self-paced, and then there's a little bit of time period where you are required to meet, like on a Zoom type of thing. But it's not your whole day.
Right.
which is good. So it allows me to be able to do things like this.
Right.
You know, so I actually have a meeting in the afternoon that I have to attend, but it's only going to be like for 2-3 hours.
Right.
So, and we have like this self-paced learning that we have to do so that, you know, we understand the call flow and all that type of stuff. So I'm actually ahead by a day and a half on purpose.
Okay. That's right.
And I worked on that this weekend because I got other stuff I need to do.
Yes.
You know, and one of the things that is real important to me that I never realized was so important to me until I started like on my journey was I need time for health.
Yes.
I have to have my time to work out.
Mm-hmm.
I need that little bit of time to make sure that I know throughout the day, I know what I'm eating so that I can be my healthy self. And it's funny, I never used to think like that before. Back when I had like my corporate regular 9-to-5 job, I rushed and got up, got myself together, stopped at whatever fast food place, donut shop. Oh, I love me a donut. Okay. Got that, hurried up, smashed that into my mouth, went to work. Sometimes I didn't even eat. I would just, and then especially when I was in management, so I took my lunch whenever I wanted to. It would be 2-3 o'clock. Oh, I didn't eat yet. Let me go order this large thing.
Yes.
And I would eat that. And then here we go, 7 o'clock, I'm eating something large again. Yeah. Completely off. So now that I have a better wellness schedule, I find I don't care what I have to get done. I'm going to work out.
Yes.
And I don't, that's where I am right now. If I don't get my workout in, it's a problem for everybody in my house.
Yeah.
And if that means I have to get up at 5:30, which I'm like, am I getting up at 5:30 again? But if I have to, I will.
Yeah.
I'll just go to bed at 10 because I got to get my 8 hours, which I'm not like I'm some health guru or anything like that. But I'm going to tell you, 8 hours of sleep really is a good thing. I know you hear a lot of entrepreneurs that do I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Yes.
Or stay up past 2-3 o'clock in the morning to work on your thing. Okay, look, you're going to have nights like that.
Yeah.
You are going to have a night or two where you are up beyond your bedtime working on your dream.
Yes.
However, you still need to sleep to refuel so you can continue on with your dream.
Yeah.
That whole, stay up to 2-3 o'clock working on your dream. Yeah, you're going to have days like that. Yeah. But that's not a way to live. That's a way to die.
That's a way to die. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I'm not into that whole like hustle culture where everybody's like hustle hard. Oh, heck no. You know why? Because you get sick. I mean, and like this is what happened to me just moving. Like I was trying to keep up with everything. I was trying to, I actually took a break on my business for like the last month because I knew I wasn't going to be able to devote any time to it whatsoever, not with moving into the house and everything. And then also keeping the kids straight. So that hustle thing, oh no, it doesn't. I mean, it works for some people, but I'm 44 years old at this point, and I've done all the hustling I'm about to do. so I can't get down like that. I need sleep. I need exercise. I need good food, and I need to relax, period. Otherwise, things will not work out well. I'm snapping at the kids. I am missing things, missing appointments, missing all kinds of stuff. Sometimes you just have to settle down and take it easy because at the end of the day, it's not going anywhere. I mean, it'll be there. There'll be other clients. There will be other opportunities. So rushing that's kind of part of even how I think law of attraction wise. One of my affirmations is there's more than enough of everything, more than enough love, more than enough time, more than enough money, more than enough. And it helps ground me so that I'm not rushing and scrounging to pick up any and everything I could possibly pick up just because it's offered to me. Sometimes you have to push it away and say, I don't need that right now. I don't need that opportunity. I've pushed clients away. I can't work on your stuff because it requires either too much of me or it requires too much time. And I just don't have that time to devote unless you want to work on my schedule. So I totally get it. Totally get it.
Well, and I think that honesty too is probably the best thing, because the last thing you want to do is pick up a project
Mm-hmm.
and not really have time. And then when you submit what you've done, they're going to look like, well, this isn't
What is this?
What is this? This isn't
Right.
the caliber that I'm used to from
Right.
her. What
Yeah.
the devil? I had to learn that a while ago, because before I got into being a real entrepreneur, I always had that 9 to 5, and then I had a hustle on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that hustle on the side was too much.
Yes.
I would do taxes. I was selling all types of products, being the party lady on the Saturdays. I was doing party hosting. I did enjoy that though, but
yeah.
but there's a lot of work to that though. A lot of people don't realize that. It's not just you show up and you dance.
Right.
Actually, when you party host, you don't get to have fun at the party, by the way.
No, you're too busy trying to get those coordinate themselves.
Exactly. So, it was a lot of things I used to do on the side. I love doing the club stuff, but it can be draining.
Yes.
And sometimes no can be a full sentence.
Yep.
I had to learn that. I would say my early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Early 30s is when I realized, I'm doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when all the realization hit me about working in corporate America, how you're replaceable really quick.
Mm-hmm.
And why am I killing myself for this job that if I die, I'll be replaced just like that.
Right.
Now, I do find it funny that when I did leave my one position, it took 2 people to take care of what I used to do. But
Right.
I'll go there today.
Yeah. It just makes you feel good. But then it's like,
y'all needed to hire 2 people to do what I used to do.
Right. But could we talk about a raise though? Yeah.
So, but yeah. So moving on.
Okay.
Let's talk about what everyone's talking about, which is this meta. I was going to call it metaverse, but as we all know, Facebook is doing a rebrand.
Mm-hmm.
So, now, this is not the first rebrand, by the way. If you remember watching the movie, it used to be called The Facebook.
Right.
Yes. And then they realized, let's take the off and just make it Facebook. Okay. But now, Mark Zuckerberg, as we all know, he's one of the co-founders of the social network Facebook. They have their yearly or quarterly Connect event, and they talked about their earnings. On their earnings call, they said that their operating profits would fall by $10 billion.
Good Lord.
Because the company is making a huge investment in VR, which is virtual reality, and metaverse related hardware. Hence, the new name that they've come up with is Meta. Meta. That's how I was like, Meta who? So I guess it's a play on words with metaverse. Right. So basically, Facebook is now going to kind of become 2 arms. So a 2 corporate structure is probably the best way to say it. So they have the apps, the social media platforms, because everyone knows they have Facebook, of course.
Right.
They have WhatsApp, and they have Instagram.
Yes.
Etc. And I think there's probably some other things they own too. But now they also have Facebook Reality Labs, and that's the VR and AR metaverse side of their operations, which kind of is it's saying to me, I guess they're looking at the future, but where is this future going?
Yes. You know what it reminds me of? There was a movie with Bruce Willis. Probably about 10 plus years ago. I can't remember the name of it. But in it, everybody was sitting in their like lounge chairs. They would put on these devices and then they could be different people. Like he could be a woman, he could go in, he could be a different race, he could be anything. He could be from a different country. They had different worlds. They had like a city world, they had like, you know, a country world. Like you could go, nobody would know who you were in real life because you would put these devices on and you would go in and live a whole life. And part of the movie, it was a mystery because someone got murdered and they were trying to figure out who the murderer was. But it's kind of scary and kind of crazy, but that's what it reminds me of, because in the one article, I don't know if you have them in the comments, but it was talking about they've got Horizon and it's Minecraft meets Roblox. My kids play Roblox. And basically they go in, they create characters and stuff, and they have different outfits and they go in different worlds. Like they have a place, they go to Brookhaven, they have their own houses and restaurants and stuff. And then they can kick people out, they can block people, they can communicate. And so I, as a parent, was looking and I was like, they were asking people to be their parents. They're like, can you be my mommy? Can you be my daddy? And I'm like, why are you trying to get? And I was like, who are you trying to get? You trying to replace me? And they're like, no, mom, it's our fake mom in Roblox. And I said, well, explain this to me. And so I was a little concerned because I don't know who the person is on the other end who's being their mommy and their daddy. And, you know, my mind can go different places with these types of terms and stuff.
I'm with you.
And I'm like, this could be like a 50-year-old man on the other end who is talking to them. But the funny thing is the schools are very smart now. They're teaching the kids about safety, online safety. And even my daughter said to me that she wanted to change her Roblox name because her real name is in it. She's like, Mommy, this is an unsafe name. It says Marilyn in it. And that's my real name. So we need to change it. And I said, okay, I'm very proud of you for figuring that out. Like, we'll change it. But that's what it reminds me of, is that you can go in, be somebody totally different. And as much as people are addicted to Facebook, the application, you know, and kind of live, that's almost like, I consider it like, if I want to contact people in my world, I'll go to Facebook and post something. But if I could hide my identity, you know, and go in and be somebody else, you know, I mean, I'm sure that's appealing to some people. And that's what it reminds me of where it might be going, where people are going to be able to totally change who they are. And then we're all going to meet in this virtual universe and interact. And we won't even know that we might be interacting with our neighbor or somebody in India or whatever. And they'll appear to us in different versions. So,
well, it's funny because I used to have a joke to myself that I used to call Facebook fraud book because it's a whole bunch of frauds going on Facebook. Okay.
Yes.
There's a whole bunch of frauding. Okay. Yes. Especially, it's what's really funny to me, especially when it comes to Facebook, is when you know people personally and you see things and you like, don't you live with your mama? Why are you showing all this money?
Right. Yeah.
And the best is when you have people that borrow money off of you and you can see them on vacation.
Oh God, you want to be like, oh, where's my ticket?
Yeah, I've seen a few things.
Didn't I pay for that?
To help them with like bills, like household bills,
Mm-hmm.
and literally 2 months later, they on vacation.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And not like, you know, like, oh, we just took a little weekend trip. Nah,
no, they
went to Walt Disney World and stuff. And I'm like, don't you owe me some money? Weren't you crying to me about how you need help with your bill?
Yeah.
But yet you was able to get up on a plane and get tickets. Because I know how much it costs to go to Disney World. I've been there several times.
Yes.
And that's when it was cheaper. I know it's more expensive now.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Disney World is not a cheap vacation in any sense of the word.
Exactly. So I'm like, really? Okay, those are just frauding on the book. That's just what y'all doing. So well, you know, with Facebook, it's kind of funny that all this is happening because, you know, in the past couple weeks, they haven't been having a good news cycle.
Right.
You know, it's it's kind of funny. Oh, okay, we're gonna have this rebrand now after they had one of their whistleblower, a former employee.
Mm-hmm.
I watched some of the interviews that she did. Her name was Frances Haugen, I believe is how you pronounce the last name, or Hagen or Haugen. She talked about how the platform was failing to like police hate speech and like potentially creating like a toxic environment for teenagers and things like that. I mean, let's just think about it. The 2016 or 2018 election.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To me, social media, in my opinion, changed an election.
I agree.
Okay. Because in my opinion, and I want to go back a few years here, Barack Obama taught politicians how to use social media.
Mm-hmm.
Because Barack Obama was I think one of the first to really embrace it.
Yes.
Because it was always a thing to see him on Facebook. Well, it's not just that he did this. Actually, a person that was either on, I don't know if they were on the board or in the executive level on Facebook, actually left Facebook for a while to go work on his campaign.
Right.
And they took what, that person obviously knew of, okay, this is how we get engagement. This is how we make sure people see your ads. People, they took that and in my opinion, used it semi close to the right way.
Okay.
But then after other political parties and other people in the political arena said, oh, we can use this social media thing to our advantage. Let's get our talking points out here. And then it started being something where you can manipulate things.
Mm-hmm.
You have headlines that you're like, is that true?
Yes.
And then you have to go, and then you click on it. It's some website you ain't never heard of.
Right.
And it has a name similar or close to a reputable company.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, you try to think, is this true? Is this believable?
Yes.
And it's not just happening in the United States. It's happening all over the world. There's I forget the name of it, but there is a documentary that is on Netflix that talks about social media in the political arena. And the thing that kind of pissed me off a little bit was it showed how they really used it in the brown countries.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
To really make changes to things that were really against what was needed for the people.
Yes.
Like I am not a big political person, and I am probably not, like, let's put it this way. My political swing and my business swing probably don't mesh.
Okay.
Because I believe in I understand that I have the get up and go attitude, and I have been given opportunities in my lifetime that I took advantage of because I had those opportunities, but I also understand that not everyone does.
Correct.
And so my thought process on things is going to be completely different than a person who grew up rich, who never had to worry about where my next meal is coming from. Who, when they had children, they didn't have to think about, oh my God, what the heck am I going to do? How am I going to feed this kid?
Yeah.
They're thinking, what am I going to instill in this kid? We're thinking, okay, I got enough milk to last for this many days. If I don't eat one meal, we'll be good.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Early in my 20s, that was my life.
Yes.
Many times my oldest son was probably like, you're not eating, Mom? No, Mommy's on a diet. Mommy's good. No, Mommy figured out if she misses this meal, you get to eat. Then we can follow up with the $5 that I'm trying to turn into 20 for the rest of the week. I know that life. Yeah. Most people don't, who are getting to be, who are at these high levels, of ownership. However, people like us, we are now the playing field is kind of even out a little bit because of social media.
Yes.
So with social media, you're able to start out in your garage, little tiny company, figure things out and learn how to market. You could become a great, huge, large conglomerate.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, and so it really does make me wonder with this whole like VR and AI thing side of Facebook that is now Meta.
Yeah.
How they're going to interpret all of this.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'm a little nervous just because what I've noticed with Facebook, and I've noticed it more, and I think as a result of like the past political establishment, the Donald Trumps and stuff, is that people are more like bullies on there more than anything else. If I see someone put up a political post or anything, social justice, social injustice, I just ignore it because in the comments, it becomes a knockdown, drag out fight. And if your opinion is not the same as the going opinion, then you are public enemy number one. And I just don't, that mentality to me is very destructive, very divisive. And I think Facebook is a place where that can promulgate. And people will, they'll get with people who are similar minded, and then they'll just bully up on somebody who doesn't. It's like, you can't we have free speech, but I don't see free speech on Facebook. Like, if you mention anything that's off, you become a target. People unfriend people. I mean, like, I feel like I used to have this opinion about online bullying, and I say, okay, I understand bullying. I understand online bullying, but I feel like if I feel like my kids, if I tell them, I'm like, turn the computer off. That's the power you have. You don't have to take that type of treatment from anyone. So what scares me with this going into or not scares me, but let's say what I'm interested to see with this going into a metaverse, is that I feel like our kids growing up are going to have a hard time separating reality from virtual reality, as well as they're going to take virtual reality seriously, whereas you and I might not. Because I've already seen it with my girls. They were like, oh, nobody wants to play with me in Brookhaven. I'm like, so what? Like, you know what I mean? I don't get it. They're upset. They're highly offended. They're like, I don't have any friends online. Okay, go outside then. Like, but I'm realizing to them, it's a real world. It's a real universe where they want to be included. And so I'm like, oh, wow, that's kind of scary to me. So if Facebook, the largest, social media company, is going into this other space, I think as parents, or even as aunties or anything else, we got to make sure that our kids understand that we don't have to buy into this. I mean, there's going to be fun stuff to do. Of course, we'll probably be able to skydive and do all kinds of like really cool things without having to leave the comfort of our own room. But there's also going to be areas where people are going to get severely bullied and abused and mistreated. And that's what we're going to have to like build up our kids against, that part of it. So, because it's already happening just in the comments. Imagine if you're in a whole world, and you're at a round table with a bunch of people that hate you.
Man, when you start talking about these Facebook comments and things, and during not this election, even though this election wasn't the greatest with Facebook, but the one before it with Hillary Clinton and with Donald Trump, I can't tell you how many people I've unfriended on Facebook, or I just don't follow.
Right.
It just got to a point where it's like, okay, I get it. That's the way that you lean politically. Great. Great that you don't have to care about nobody else's suffering. It's all about you.
Right.
Great. That's great. But damn, do you have to be so loud and extra with it?
Yes. Yep.
That great that you don't have to ever worry about injustices. Great. But it's even like, I look at, even like, I hate to go back to like people we went to high school with, but just for example, people we went to high school with, I'm like, wait a minute, I remember things you used to do, girl.
You know what? It's like you got side stories on these people, and you're seeing where they have ended up, and it's like, oh, okay, I know your secrets, though.
I know your secrets, girl. I know a few of y'all secrets.
Right. I know where the bodies are buried, so don't try to get too brand new.
You know, some of y'all, as my father used to say, don't people forget they are one generation away from pissing in an outhouse.
That's true.
My dad used to say that when there was people that used to, in his words, act highfalutin. Like, they forgot that their people used to piss in an outhouse.
Yes. That is so true. Yep. And people brand new on Facebook.
Real brand new on Facebook.
Yes.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And see, now if they can just be somebody else, shoot. I can't wait to see what we're gonna see, what this transforms into.
So that is Meta, the new metaverse. Facebook. You know, Nikki, do you know anything about credit, your business credit? Well, you know, nav.com can help you learn and monitor your credit, personal and business. Click in the description box to sign up for nav.com today. And it's free, people. You can choose a free account. This will help you with managing your credit personally and your business credit. They have nice things there that will help you to take the process of building your credit up. You will be able to see suggestions on how to pay your bills. You'll also get suggestions on credit cards and things that you can apply for to help you with building your business credit. nav.com. Click the link in the description box.
Yes. I actually just recommended it to my mom, who is starting a virtual assistant company agency, or, you know, just her for now. But I said, you should go to Nav to start, you know, really making it legitimate. So, but yeah, it's great. It's so great when you're starting out. And I totally recommend it, you know, 100%. And it's free. You know, they have higher levels of service, but the initial one is free. You get so much from the free plan. I think I had it free for at least 2 years before I decided to start paying for it. So,
okay. Yeah. I felt with the free plan, I got that in the beginning, and then I pay for it. And then I really like the little nudges that you kind of get to say, hey, you know, your due date's coming up.
Yes.
You know, things like that. I mean, like, I already know. I don't need you to tell me, but maybe I do need you to tell me.
Well, it'll monitor your business, and then it'll also monitor your personal too. So sometimes it'll be like, you know, two things just hit your personal credit file.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, thanks.
That's very nice as well, because then it's nice to know when things hit your credit file, because every company, they report differently.
Yeah.
You might think some companies, they report like a month behind. Some are like 2 months behind. You know, especially, it's so funny. You're always waiting for your credit report to get higher after you make that good chunk payment.
Yes.
And you're like, it's like 2 weeks later, you're like, it ain't hit my credit yet.
Right, yeah. Like, I want my money back.
I got stuff to do. I got apps to put in. I need you to hit my credit. Well, this will help you so that you can learn the cycle of how different companies report, so that you know when you should make your payment. You know, because a lot of people think they need to make their payment by the due date. No, honey, you need to make your payment by the cycle date. Yes. So that when it reports your payment and reports it. Yeah. You learn those things on nav.com.
Definitely. Yeah.
So moving on. So, all right. I want to make sure that I do this right. So I'm going to, AT&T says, white people, y'all the problem. AT&T said it. I ain't say it. So, right. So, I'm going to read the article. All right, so AT&T Corporation is putting its employees through a racial re-education program and teaches that American racism is a uniquely white trait and tells white people that they are the problem, according to a new report.
Mm-hmm.
According to internal documents obtained by City Journal's Christopher Rufo, the company implemented an initiative called the Listen, Understand Act last year, which is based on the core principles of critical race theory, including intersectionality, systematic racism, white privilege, right fragility. That's a common topic right there. The program peddles, according to this article, the program peddles left-wing causes, including reparations, defunding the police, and transgender activism. That's according to this Rufo guy.
Okay.
Right, so the CEO of is John Stankley.
Okay.
He has claimed that private corporations, including his own, have an obligation to engage on the issue of racial injustice and to advocate for system reforms in police departments across the country. A senior employee reportedly told Rufo that managers at the company now face annual assessments on diversity issues and are forced to participate in discussion groups, book clubs, mentorship programs, and race re-education exercises.
Wow.
White employees are unwilling to admit to being complicit in white privilege, and systematic racism can be penalized in their performance reviews.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Okay, yes, I do. All right. Additionally, those who refuse to sign a loyalty pledge to keep pushing for change and set intentions such as reading more about systematic racism and challenging others' language that is hateful are considered racist. All right. So that's an article that is in Yahoo. So I did a little bit of looking about what this program is.
Okay.
Now, I think the one thing you have to understand is some of these people that are in this article are what I would say conservative leaning.
Okay.
Meaning they're going to take that one part that they don't like and do all those talking points. So I'm just going to pull up a picture. I was going to see a picture of this CEO before I met John Stink. Is this really? Yeah, John
Stanky. Yeah.
Yeah. He looked just like a white man to me.
Yeah.
Everyday white man.
Yeah.
Bald in the front, a little gray on the side. Education, University of California.
Okay.
Loyola, Marymount University. Okay. I mean, he looked like a regular everyday white guy to me. Okay.
Yes.
So, all right. How do I put this? I appreciate allies.
Yes.
Okay. But there are times, in my opinion, they do just a little too much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you want to educate your employees about racial biases.
Mm-hmm.
Explain, how they may have a privilege that they don't know that they have.
Right.
Or may feel that they don't have. But sometimes I think you're not helping us.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a way trying to help yourself.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because I don't need the employees at AT&T to sign some loyalty pledge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have a little retreat and you want to talk about racial biases, like in your hiring practices,
Mm-hmm.
you want to talk about racial biases in your marketing, so things like that, I get that for a corporate culture.
Right.
You want to, because for me, the way I look at it, when you have a business, a large corporate conglomerate, you want everyone to be your customer.
Right.
So you need to and when I say everyone, I'm not just talking about black Democrats. You also want black Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
You also want white Democrats, white Republicans. You also want Asian Democrats, Asian independents. You want everyone to be your customer.
Right.
So in a way, I feel that you have to cater to everybody.
Right.
Now, I appreciate the thought. However, I kind of think they're missing the mark.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Okay.
I like, don't get me wrong, I do understand the core principles of like critical race theory, which has been a talking point now for the conservatives, that they want critical race theory not in schools and things like that. Honestly, critical race theory is not even really taught in most high schools. You don't really get to a point of critical race theory until you reach college.
Right.
Because it's more, in my opinion, a philosophical look at history and biases and how laws in turn were changed due to those biases.
Okay. Yeah.
Kids, like my kid's in first grade. Only thing he's learning when it comes to Black history or history in general right now, he is learning about some of our forefathers. You know, he's learned about George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. They have added some Black people in it. I credit his teacher because she is a Black woman. So I credit that she probably threw that in there herself. So there are some names that he knows that he, that I'm like, okay, wow, all right, you're learning a little bit. But I think when it comes to corporate, no one wants to go to work and get told that they're doing something wrong, especially when they didn't do something wrong.
Right. Yeah.
That's my thought.
Yeah. Well, I agree with a lot of what you said. And I think my perspective goes towards, it's an easy way for you to look like you're woke, by instilling this company wide, right? It's easy to do that because you don't really have to be responsible for the outcome of it, because you can say, well, we've educated our workforce. They take training classes. They know about this. But if someone gets discriminated against or is mistreated, and it's on a slightly racial, type of thing, then you can just say, we've already done something about it, or we're doing something about it, or whatever. It's this one individual. Now, you and I both know that where racism comes to play for us and for our people, is that it's not the fact that I'm talking to AT&T customer service and someone's not being culturally competent with me. It's the fact that maybe, like you said, I'll go into an AT&T interview and someone's not culturally competent with me. I've had the situation, not with that company, but with other companies similar, where, we'll get through the phone interviews and everything's great. But we take that Zoom interview or we do that in person, and all of a sudden that enthusiasm is just a little bit less, just a little bit, okay, well, I'll call you, don't call us, we'll call you, type of thing. But before they could see what I look like, it was all dandy, it was all dandy. And see, these are the opportunities that we want. We don't want to be talked to someone who's culturally sensitive to our history. We want a job, we want an opportunity. We want fairness in those lines. And even like we've talked about this before, like in the house buying process, or whenever you're going for loans and things like that. It's the subtleties. If there was, I would rather just have a fair matrix of how you're going to treat my income and my expenses and my credit score. I'd rather just have that than to talk to somebody who knows that who's culturally confident, who, who took a training, who took an hour training or a all day long retreat, and they shoved a bunch of Black history and philosophy in front of their face. I want somebody who's just
I think we lost Nikki just for a little bit. She'll probably be right on back because that's how it works with the internet, I think in these type of cases where a corporation is trying to be woke, sometimes they might need to take a nap. So I think that the CEO and the board of AT&T is coming from a good place, but I just don't know if that much is really necessary to be part of the culture. That's just kind of what I'm thinking. So that's what's happening with AT&T. So today we talked about a couple things. So we talked about our time management, working on time management skills. Then we talked about the whole the whole Facebook name change. So that was one of the things that we got into. So, all right. So
that's
Nicole,
the second time that's happened.
What's really funny is someone don't like what you got to say, Nikki.
Oh my gosh.
Girl, when you be on a roll and you be dropping some knowledge, it's like they like cut the cord.
Oh shoot. This is hilarious. I think it's funny. I'm like, oh my goodness.
It's every time, girl, when you be getting into it.
That's funny.
Into it. It seems like they like, oh no, she's talking too real now.
And then it goes, oh my gosh. They're going to have me wondering. You talking
too real. I was just saying that sometimes some of these woke people need to take naps.
Yes, please go back to sleep for a little bit. Right.
Just a little bit. And I believe it's coming from a good place.
Yes.
I think it's well-intentioned.
Yeah.
But the thing is, now we have an article that's on a major publication that says AT&T's telling their white employees they're the problem.
Yes. Yeah.
Y'all need to apologize.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, you don't want that type of publicity.
Mm-mm.
But and the thing is, the training there might only be one portion of the training that says something like that.
Yeah.
But all you need is for one person to say, oh, they try to make me feel bad for being white.
Yep.
Then now that messes up the whole thing.
Yeah.
It misses the whole point.
Right.
Like I think about, and even though this is not on the same level, but I think about Jane Elliott.
Okay.
Jane Elliott, she's the teacher that does the brown eye, blue eye experiment.
Okay.
And what she does with her experiment is she starts saying all these like ridiculous, well, I don't want to say ridiculous, but all these different things that sound like facts about people with brown eyes. So she'll say people with brown eyes are smarter.
Mm-hmm.
People with brown eyes have better manners. People like, she'll just keep going on and on and on.
Yeah.
To a point where a person with blue eyes is like, hold up. Wait a minute.
Right.
I have blue eyes. You're not going to tell me I'm not better or at the same level as these people.
Right.
You know, and the reason why obviously she picks that because most Black people have brown eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, but there are white people that have brown eyes too.
Right.
You know, there are.
Yeah.
But she uses that and then she'll starts her speech sometimes and she'll say, if that's the case, then who here would like to switch their race and be white? Who here would like to switch their race and be Black?
Right.
Like never fails. When I say that, no one puts their hands up.
Yeah.
Even though they say they're not racist, even though they say whatever, they know how as a country Black people are treated.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want 1 second of that.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so that's what I think of. Now she does that in a different construct. She doesn't do that on a corporation level. She gives talks and speeches and things like that. But I feel like it's coming from a good place. I just don't know if this is the right way to do it.
Yeah. I think it's going to breed contempt, just like you're saying. I think the white employees or even the let's say the non people of color at the company, they're going to feel slightly threatened by this. And in this environment where employees are at a premium, you really can't afford to be pissing off your employees. And especially if there's no problem, let's not make a problem either. Like I said, fix some of your internal, well, one of the things I was going to get into is just that, and you might know this just from your experience with your husband. White people sometimes get treated differently than we do. They get different types of offers than we get. And it's like, when you see this, and it's like, I had a friend I was talking to, and she was telling me about her experience with, percentage, like APR rate on a car type thing, and how, it could be lower. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I've always been trying to fight higher rates. They roll out the higher rates for me when I come in. And it's like, some people don't have that experience at all. They walk in with an expectation because that's how they've always been treated.
Yes. Now, for those of you who don't know, my husband is of the Caucasian persuasion.
Well, I wasn't going to say that. But I was going to let them wonder. They didn't know.
Well, it's okay. I post him every now and again. He's a behind the scenes type of person. He's actually been on Resellqueen Chronicle. Well, actually, I like to bring him on towards the end of the year to kind of do a recap.
Yeah, okay.
And kind of talk about where things should go the next year. It's kind of a good time for us. But there's been situations, even in business, where I have him utilize his whiteness to help. Yeah. Something as simple as, I know this sounds horrible, but like, all right, so as you know, I sell stuff online. We use third-party sellers. But sometimes if we have bigger items, instead of selling them online, we'll sell them locally. Yeah. So we do Facebook Marketplace. And I think I've talked about this before. Had something listed, had a person try to low ball me to the ground. It's like, sorry, I'm not going to be able to go that low. And then they kind of went the direction of, is this stolen? It's like, okay, first you want to lowball me, then you want to ask me if it's stolen. No, it's not stolen. And I had to give them a whole education of, I buy liquidated items and I sell them. That's not stealing. That's called making money. It's a business. Okay. So things just wasn't going with it. My husband, on his profile, same pictures. Same person contacts him. Didn't lowball him, didn't question where it came from, and he sold it to her. Right. And I, on purpose, came when he sold it.
I was like, hey, remember me?
Oh, actually, I said nothing. I just, because for me, sometimes just that revenge of, I got your money.
Right.
And we've done
and
that.
I got full price.
Yeah. You paid full price. I was willing to lowball you to a certain point. Just even like just simple things with housing. Yes. Okay. Yes. I have, because for instance, all right, not just with housing. So my husband, as you know, well, most people know, he works a regular 9-to-5 job. There was a time period where with his job, we were in like different states because he would get an assignment and we would go somewhere for like 6-7 months, something like that. So while he would be working, I'm doing whatever. So we needed a new bed. So I wanted to get a new bedroom set, and so I went out shopping. That's, what I do best. And I couldn't get any help. And I saw something that I wanted, and I got the whole pricing, basically helped myself, took pictures and everything, saw that no one was going to help me. And so I left. Right. And so my husband goes, well, why didn't you just buy it? I was like, no one was helping me. He was like, what do you mean no one was helping me? I was like, no one was willing to help me. So we go back to the same place. He walks in. Hey, sir, how can I help you? He was like, yeah, my wife was here earlier, but no one was helping her, but she was something that she liked.
Yeah.
And so here I come walking in,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, let's show you this."
Right.
Okay. You know, that happens so many times,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
where just dealing with housing, I
Mm-hmm.
always have my husband make sure he goes.
Yep.
So I come, but everything is always under his name.
Yeah.
Everything is always under his name
Yeah.
and his likeness,
Yep.
because it does make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
And let me
Yep.
tell you, when we bought this car, now I did all the talking,
Mm-hmm.
but it was over the phone and over
Yep.
the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I look like.
Right.
Everything was already done,
Mm-hmm.
already negotiated, the rate, everything.
Yeah.
The rate, because as far as I'm concerned, I don't believe in double digits for rates for
Right.
cars. I
Yeah.
don't believe in a double digit. If it's a
Mhm.
double digit, my
Look it
credit
on.
isn't good enough, and maybe I need to buy a car outright.
Right.
Okay, that's my belief.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now because I've been in places where the rate's like 27%,
Yes,
19%.
indeedy. Yes, indeedy.
I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Well, my credit is better now,
Yeah.
but there's certain things I just don't accept.
Yeah. Right.
You know, because I know I don't have to.
Right.
And so on the phone with these people, you know, for the car, I basically said, look, if my rate is not under 9%, because I looked things up, I already
Mhm.
knew what my rate could be. I was like, look, it could probably be maybe a 6
Right.
because of where we are.
Right.
I'm not going to be signing with y'all, and I'm going to go with because I had a pre-approval with Capital One.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, let's see if we can get it down lower, because you know they all want their money.
Exactly.
So it's funny. We get to the dealership. My husband goes in first like normal. I come in. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Now, I will say, I think because where we happen to live,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of couples that look like us,
Okay.
but they look switched.
Yeah.
So now there are some that look just like us. You
Yeah.
know, woman of color and a Caucasian man.
Yeah.
But normally it's a switcheroo.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any issues. In fact, the guy was very, very nice, very good. There is a lot. It's sort of, even out here, even though it's more country, it sort of reminds me of where we grew up,
Okay.
where our neighbors were of all different races, ethnicities. Growing up, going to high school, we didn't have like a black clique or a white clique. It wasn't like that.
Right.
For us, you know, I have friends. I have Rainbow Coalition of friends.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
from high school. So it kind of reminds me of that out here. But I know that there are times when putting my husband's face out there or having his name is very helpful.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and we're lucky our mommies gave us nice white girl sounding names.
Right. Yes. Yes.
That gets you the interview a lot of
Yeah.
times.
A lot of times it does.
A lot of
Yes.
times that gets you the interview because
Yeah.
we're good on paper.
Right.
Because you can be good on paper and have a name that looks ethnic, I'll say. And it's not just black people. I'm talking about brown people too.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
Where you have a name that sounds ethnic and they're like, oh, I don't know. I can't even pronounce the name. I'm not even
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like that. So
well,
I
it's
appreciate
real.
it, but
yeah, but I'm just saying that how do you educate against that? And I just don't think that whatever AT&T is putting out there, they can't. That's a whole mindset shift for people, because most people when they're engaging in those practices, those discriminatory practices, they're thinking it's okay. They don't think that there's anything wrong with it. And even when you challenge them, they just look at you like you're being too sensitive, you know? Like even with this house buying process, this was a challenge, you know, because I had a whole bunch of odd things about my situation going into it. And I swear that the agent for the company, I think she did not give me the highest level of service that she could have. And I do think it was racial. I mean, that's just my opinion. yeah, I was able to get in and able to get a house, but I went through things that when I talked to my neighbors and I talked to different people, you know, they don't have the same type of situation. You know, like for example, they have different ceremonies for when you sign for your lot.
Okay.
They have a ceremony where they put the sold sticker on there.
Right.
I didn't get that. You know,
What?
yeah, I didn't get that. And then when you now when I bought the house, when I had settlement, I got my picture taken. I need to go check the website, see if I'm up there. But I had my picture taken, sold at my front door. That is the settlement, the welcome home type thing.
Right.
But there were certain things that were part of this whole process to make it more personalized and special that just weren't offered to me, So, and how do you can't educate. Now, she could go sit through a half a day training, but in her mind, she doesn't see anything wrong with how she treated me because that's just how she thinks about things, you know? And I don't think any corporation, I think what they end up doing when they do things like this is they end up upsetting their employees. And I'm not saying because I'm also not of the thing, well, what do you do? Throw your hands up. But I think that we live in a world that we have enough algorithms and mathematics in our lives and computers that things can be more standardized for everyone so that people don't have to go through things like that. Because those are the little things that do hurt people's feelings. And a lot of times we have to just accept our hurt feelings. We have to be strong Black women. We have to be, you know what I mean? We have to just accept that we were
got to save everybody, girl. We always saving people.
Yes. We were
Always
discriminated against. We were mistreated. And that's just our lot in life. And I'm just like, no, because, my color is green. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm putting the money down, or we're dealing with something in business, then you're going to treat me like I want to be treated, or I'll just go somewhere else or do something else. Yeah.
And I'll pay more for better service.
I will. Exactly. I will pay more for better service.
I will pay more for you to treat me like a human being.
Exactly. Yep. Because I feel like it's worth it. I'm not going to accept your subpar treatment just because I want a certain thing. But yeah, sometimes, like in the case with the house, I wanted to walk away a lot of times because I felt like I was being mistreated. But I'm like, the payoff, and see, they know that.
Right.
The payoff is greater than the treatment. Like I have a house for my family now. Like if I'd have walked away, I'll still be living with my parents.
Right. Right.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to grin and bear it. But I'm noting.
But that's what we do as Black women.
Right.
We do that a lot. We do that for us and for our kids.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I've done not because I wanted to. I never want to clean a toilet.
God, let's go there, right?
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
But I've done that to take care of my family.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not too good for that.
Right.
But I know some people that are.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, girl, I know it. I do like cleaning, though.
Actually, it is very therapeutic when you do it by yourself.
Yes.
You start from the corner of the room, you go in the back.
Yes.
Vacuum cleaner. I used to have that. Well, I still have it. My backpack vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Put that on. Just start vacuum out the room. And just get you moving.
Get in your zone. Yeah.
Get in your zone. Good.
Yeah.
But after a while, it's backbreaking work. Right. It's not glamorous. No. But
and for your education level,
that's what I had to do.
Yeah. For your education level and what and how you maneuver, sometimes it's like, I don't need to be cleaning toilets. I'm doing it because it's easy and I can get paid for it and It's consistent. But, there's a lot, like I was talking to somebody and they were like, with your qualifications, you could be a manager of this, and this. And it's like, yeah, but
I'm never home.
You're right. I'm never home. I need a flexible schedule because I have the kids with the special needs and I have the young kids. And I'm not willing to give up my whole life for a company, no matter how smart I am or what kind of experience I have. So it makes sense to be an entrepreneur, because then I can call my own shots and do my own thing. And then when it comes to those discriminatory moments and those racist moments, I can walk away, and I don't have to worry about whether or not I'll have a job the next day. So
I will tell you, it is very empowering when you leave a 9-to-5 or like a little side job. Like that's what I kind of do. I do little side jobs, and it's empowering when you're like, no, I'm done with this.
Right. This is it's time to do something else. Yeah.
I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got packages to ship.
Yes. Right.
This actually, I literally do. This has been one heck of a weekend for me, by the way. Business.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Every weekend, each weekend is more and more packages.
Yes, we're approaching Christmas. The Christmas rush.
I don't even have. I decided that I wasn't even going to cater to Christmas.
Right.
I'm not catering to any holiday right now.
Yeah.
Well, just because I didn't want to put money out to order stuff and stuff don't show up and all that stuff. I'm like, well, I'm just going to make sure that my regular supply is supplied.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's what's happening right now. I gotta go do a whole nother wholesale order.
Yeah.
So well, this has been a long show.
It has been, yeah.
It don't feel long though,
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Especially when they kicked me off for a good 5 minutes.
I tell you, every time, girl, that you be going in, I'm
gonna test it out next week too.
We're gonna see what happens. We know y'all watching. We don't know who watching. Somebody watching. They're like, oh, she giving way too much good advice there. Way too much good advice. Oh
goodness, that's funny. That is funny.
Something. Yeah. In my mama's world, the devil is always busy.
Isn't he? You got time to watch Entrepremommies though.
Yeah, right? Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this segment of Entrepremommies. We had a great time today.
Yes, we did.
If you want to reach out to us, always feel free to either email us at entrepremommies@gmail.com. You can always hit us even also on the DMs. I'm at Resellqueen on Twitter.
And I'm at home with Nicole.
All right. And we are the Entrepremommies, the mommies that know how to handle business.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
At Entrepremommies, we share from experience. Moms talk about things that affect moms in general. The mommy entrepreneurs, we are the moms that handle business, and that means a lot. Remember, Entrepremommies.